what do you know about being a pirate?
Somebody always has to swap the poop deck.
Somebody does have to swap the poop deck and all the other decks.
They have these swords that have like a teeth mark that they bite, and then they hold the sword with their teeth.
What?
Huh? That's news to me. That's scary. And what do you know?
What?
They're scary.
They're scary. Well, some pirates are scary, some won't. Anybody else have anything to add? Alright, well I got my work cut out for me.
They still treasure.
They still treasure. Now, on that topic, what is treasure?
It's like gold and jewelry.
Gold jewelry.
Valuable stuff.
Valuable stuff. That is key word, valuable. Now, in the movies, they have treasure. They have bountiful things of booty, right? Gold, emeralds, jewels. But most pirates, they went after valuable things, as in sugar, cotton, men. No, not like that. When you're out sailing the seven seas, people die. You need to replenish them. Easy, Mrs. McDonald. Alright. So, they didn't always get gold and silver and jewelry. Sometimes you just got things that you could go into port and sell to other people, right? It's like going to Lynn's and stealing everything inside and going and selling it on the corner. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't you make a lot of money?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
See? Don't get any ideas, though. So, I'm going to tell you a story about one of my favorite pirates, Anne Bonny. Has anybody ever heard of Anne Bonny?
No.
How about Calico Jack Rackham?
No.
How about Mary Read?
No. I know Chadwick.
Who?
Chadwick.
Chadwick. I don't know the name. Oh, dirt bike ride. Well, we haven't crossed swords. All right, well, how many people know what a pirate flag looks like? Do you know whose pirate flag you're looking at? Jack Sparrow's.
Oh, that's the...
We got one like this. Skull and crossbones, right? It's the traditional flag. That is actually a flag of Edward England the pirate. Every pirate had a different flag. Every pirate flew different flags to tell them that they were who they were. I got this one. This is actually Calico Jack Rackham's flag. This is what he looked like. A skull and two cross swords. All right. Does anybody know whose flag this is?
It's McDonald's.
It would be pretty cool.
It would be.
No, this is. Well, come on in. You're last.
Come in and sit down.
Are you lost?
No, so I was in the wrong class for like this one time because I thought it was done. So I was supposed to be in this one.
You were supposed to be in story time? Well, you came on a good day.
All right, well,
All right, come and sit down somewhere.
I'll take a seat, or I'll run you through.
You're not allowed to bring your swords here.
It's Blackbeard's flag. You guys heard of Blackbeard?
Yep.
Have you heard of Edward Teach? No. All right, we'll get to that. All right, back to Jack Rackham. So, Anne Bonny was a young girl. She was born in Ireland. Under some questionable circumstances she was born that got her father cast out of the area because of these questionable circumstances that I will not get into. So he fled Ireland and came over to North Carolina. Does everybody know what North Carolina is? Good.
Right there. Duke.
Duke. No.
No, Duke is in North Carolina.
No, they weren't there then. Pick up. I know you're late, but we're going to keep going. Alright, yes, Duke is North Carolina. Alright, so.
You are correct.
Ireland, they left, went to North Carolina. And they were living there, her and her dad. When she came across this guy named James Bonny. Now, James Bonny was a pirate at the time. He won her heart, and she went off with him to be a pirate. James Bonny, he wasn't a good pirate, though. He lost a lot of crew. He couldn't ever get any prizes. You know what a prize is?
Diamonds.
Diamonds has to be a prize. They call ships that they take as a prize. Like, they just look through the scope, they see a prize, and they go take it, right? James wasn't good at this. So he actually went, and in today's term, they're called state evidence. We don't like those people. They turn other pirates, and they tell people what they're doing. to get them arrested so they don't have to go to jail. So he went to a famous pirate hunter called Woodes Rogers. Ever heard of Woodes Rogers? Famous pirate hunter, actually had a big scar on his face when he was hunting down pirates. His ship took a cannonball and the whole helm blew up in his face. And he had a scar the rest of his life. Everybody knew who he was. And knew he was a famous pirate hunter and he would hunt you down and kill you. Now, James Bonny was in cahoots with Woodes Rogers, and Anne wasn't a fan of that. Anne was actually working at a tavern at the time and came across a guy named Calico Jack Rackham. Now, Jack Rackham got the name Calico Jack. Does anyone know what calico is? You ever think of a calico cat?
Comes to my mind. Green eyes.
No, there was really colorful. And that's what Jack got his name. He's a very colorful person, wore lots of pretty things, and spent his money on the finer things of life. And so he was Calico Jack. Now, Calico Jack was much older than Anne, but they fell in love. And this is back in, the early 1700s, where women were sorted as property more than they were actual people. Horrible times, right? So Jack, being the honorable man he was, went to James and said, "I want to buy your wife from you." Right? James would not sell Anne to Jack, so they ran away together. They became pirates. Alright? So Anne Bonny, Calico Jack went down the Caribbean, where they were pirates and they had fun capturing other ships. Now, legend has it that Anne Bonny's first trip out on the seas to capture a prize, she took a mannequin from a dress shop. Looked real. So she cut off the arms, cut off the legs, mangled it up a little bit, and then put fake blood all over it. Looked scary enough, right? And it worked. So, as a French merchant ship was approaching them, Anne stood there with a hatchet over this decapitated body with all this blood. Crazy look in her eyes. Now the French merchants, they didn't want none of that. So they gave up the ship. Here's all our stuff, don't kill us. And that's what pirates did. It was easier to fake people into thinking that you're going to kill them than to actually kill them. Now I'm a friend of that because I've heard this, I don't like ghosts.
Well, how come they just jumped off their ship?
Well, they didn't jump off, they just, raised the white flag and don't kill us, you can take our stuff.
So where'd they go?
In situations like that, sometimes if the ship's not as good, they'll just let them take their ship. They'll take the stuff that they want and let them go. Sometimes they kill them. Sometimes they offer them a plea. If you want, you can come be part of our crew. If not, we'll kill you.
Good deal.
Yeah.
No,
We kill you.
It worked out sometimes because during those times, what was going on in history? You think about it.
Death.
Not death, but slavery. There was huge boats coming from Africa to the Americas with slaves. Now, some pirates even picked those ships on purpose. They knew they were slavers. And so they would take their ships, and then the slaves would become pirates. Better than being a slave, right? We'll get back into some of the benefits of being a pirate at the time. But that was one of the benefits. They capture a slave ship. They have all these willing men willing to be a pirate than be a slave or jump overboard and die, right? Okay. So, Anne Bonny captured a ship. At the time, like I said, 1700s girls were more like property than people, right? So, she dressed up like a man most of the time on the ship, so people didn't know she was a girl. Sometimes, though, when they would capture ships, she would dress like a woman and try to seduce the other men to become pirates. And so that was their little ploy. So in one such adventure, she went over to the other ship, all pretty like, and started trying to seduce this other man sailor. Turns out that man sailor was also a woman named Mary Read. And Mary Read wanted to be a pirate with them. Now Mary Read, there's not a lot about her early life except for her mother had a son, a baby boy. It died. Now her husband was also in prison at the time, but somehow she was pregnant with another child. So she didn't want to give up her inheritance to that family line of money. So she gave birth to a baby girl, dressed her up as a boy, and said, "This is my son." It fooled a lot of people for a while until it didn't.
Didn't.
And so, Mary Read, young girl, goes off and becomes a sailor. At 13 years old, she was a powder monkey. Does anybody know what a powder monkey is? Do you know how a cannon fires?
Yeah. Oh.
You need powder for that, right? Powder, ball, boom. So, Mary Read, being the young lass she was a powder monkey. So during the fight, she'd go down below decks, grab a powder keg, and run it all up, and make sure all the cannons had powder in them throughout the whole fight. To make sure that they didn't stop shooting. Stop shooting, you're dead. Right? So, that's how Mary Read became a sailor, and started that way. Now, Mary Read and Bonnie and Calico Jack, they made quite a pair. There was talk that they were all together, and they, just for history, Mrs. McDonald's history. So, at some point, it was October 22nd, 1720. I'll get my date wrong here. So 1720. Say again?
That's my birthday.
That's your birthday.
No, not like that old, but like.
Oh, so yeah, good for you, right?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Oh, that's all that matters. So October 22nd, this guy's birthday. Yeah. There was the night before, so October 21st, they took a good prize, a big Spanish galleon, and they were excited because they just got the ship. So most of the sailors do what sailors do: get drunk. So they're drunk on the boat, passed out.
And none of you are sailors, so don't do that.
All right.
Okay.
And Bonnie, Mary Read were standing on top of the boat, the ship, and they were watching, and they see two small sloops, come sailing up to them, and they're wondering what's going on. When they get closer, they see it's the Fuzz, the Popo, the police of the time, coming to get them, right? So, naturally, they want to fight. They're pirates, right? So, they start trying to wake up the men. They're drunk. Some of them are cowards. Don't want to come out and fight. So, and Bonnie and Mary Read, Calico Jack fought a little bit, but not to the liking of the women. They got captured. But before they got captured, Mary Read is known to say, let me make sure I got this quote right. She yells, "If there's a man among ye, you'll come up and fight like the man you ought to be." Those are her famous words. No men were coming up from below decks. She took a musket, shot down there. Let them know she's serious. Killed the guy.
Oh.
But they got captured. So they all went down to New Providence Island, now Nassau, down the Caribbean, to be tried as pirates. Now, November 18th, Calico Jack was convicted of piracy and summoned to hang. Quick drop, sudden stop. You're gone, right? His last thing he wanted to do was talk to Anne one last time before he was hanged. They took him over to Anne's cell, and yes, sir.
If you were to choose a way of death, would you rather get beheaded or hanged?
Well, I don't want to get into that, but it's a question for another day. Alrighty. Well, Anne Bonnie.
Maybe after we'll talk about it.
These final words to Jack. If you had fought like a man, you need not have been hanged like a dog.
Why are people eating dogs? Yeah,
It's okay to hang men, but not dogs. What world do you live in?
Leave the dogs alone.
Well, it's not right to hang anyway, but you're a pirate. You do bad things, you get bad consequences. Cause and effect. But, so those are her last words to Jack before he goes off to the gallows to be hung to death. Alright? So, 10 days later, Anne Bonny, Mary Read go to their trial. To be tried as pirates. They're found guilty. There's a lot of evidence against them. A lot of stories of people that saw these two women killing other people. And so, they're sentenced to hang as well. But wait. There is more. Anne Bonny and Mary Read say they are quick with child. Do you know what that means? They're pregnant. They're pregnant. So at the time, women were sought as property, but if they're pregnant, we can't kill them. So, you know, there's a little good things. So they're put back in their cell, to wait until they have their child, and then they can hang them.
That's
Messed up.
Mary Read, as we said, she gave birth, but then died of pneumonia in the cell. But Anne Bonny, she escaped. Nobody knows whatever happened to Anne Bonny. Legend has it that she moved back to North Carolina, got married, had kids, and died at a ripe old age of 65. It's pretty good back in those days, but yeah. So that's the story of Anne Bonny. You can applause.
That was an awkward
We're going to talk about Edward Teach. Yes, sir.
I was thinking back, but Duke was actually like one of the oldest universities.
It was.
And it was like, you know, where they called people scholars and all that. It was back then.
Because they're not scholars
They're not
now.
scholars now.
Well, they are. They're just, it's too complicated. So, Duke could have been there before.
Duke could have been.
Google would know.
Google would know, but I don't have Google. All right.
But I
So,
do.
Edward Teach. We'll talk about Edward Teach. Edward Teach, no one knows who Edward Teach is. Edward Thatch is also the name that has been associated with him. Mrs. McDonald lives with me, so she knows these crazy stories. But
This is who I live with.
isn't she a lucky girl? So, Edward Teach is
Yeah.
better known as Blackbeard the Pirate. That's his real name. Does anybody know why they call him Blackbeard?
Because he has a black beard.
You guys are smart. So, he had this big black beard. He also played in the psychological warfare of the other people. He put fuses in his hair, and he'd light them on fire. When he's about to board the ship, got his hat, got fuses on fire, smoke billowing from him. Now, the guns at the time, you shoot, they're like the cannons. You shoot, you gotta put powder, you gotta put the ball back in, and then you can shoot again. Time consuming when you're in a fight. So Blackbeard fixed this. He had a bandolier go around his chest. Had about 5 or 6 guns on it at a time. He would shoot, drop, just go through. Get 6 shots that way. It's like modern 6-shooter. So, while he's doing this, bunch of guns, 2 big sabers, smoke coming out of his head. People thought he was the devil. He also was in North Carolina, so maybe that's where the blue devil came from, but the black devil, Blackbeard, was a little different. So, I'm going to tell you about how he died. Now, Blackbeard was only really a pirate for how long? You may know. About 2 years. That's all. Pirates don't live long. Mr. McDonald was excited about that because I have lots of insurance. So,
It's true. I'm banking on it.
so when they, once again, Blackbeard got a good prize. They wanted to celebrate. The governor of North Carolina didn't like pirates. Influenced them to have a party at Blackbeard's little hangout. Right before then, does anybody know Blackbeard's ship? The Queen Anne's Revenge was the name of his ship. He actually run it aground shortly before this and was having it repaired. So he had a smaller ship called the Adventure. Now Queen Anne's Revenge was a big ship, as a merchant ship he took, put 40 cannons on it, and set to sail. And that's why he was so successful as a pirate, because he had a big boat. So, he's there without his ship, all of his men are drunk again. You seen a pattern? Don't get drunk. So, the governor hired a pirate hunter named Robert Maynard. Robert Maynard was to capture Blackbeard. Simple enough, right? So, on the night of November 21st, 1718, he took 2 small boats and snuck up on Blackbeard and watched him to make sure he wouldn't go anywhere. Now, dawn was coming. They knew they had to make their move before the pirates started waking up, started getting a hangover, you know, whatever they do. So, they started sneaking up. Someone spotted them. They hop on their boat and start setting a sail to get away from these people. Well, all 3 of them run aground. Does anyone know what that means? Run aground? the water's too shallow, so they hit the bottom of the boat and they're stuck
go
there.
under.
So they have to wait till high tide so they can sail on. Now it's said that they are so close that they're taunting each other back and forth while they're shooting at each other. Yelling, "I know what you did last night." So, as
Scallywags.
they're having this little fight back and forth, and then they realize tide's coming up. During that fight, one of the ships, the halyard, one of the masts on the ship, got hit with a cannon. They were out of commission. They were going really slow. So they venture, and Maynard's boat started setting sail. Now, at the time, Blackbeard only had about 25 men. Some of them have already been killed during this fight, so they were short-handed. Now, Maynard's boat had a lot more men, but as Blackbeard looked over there, it didn't look like they had a lot of men at the time. So he said, "We're going to take it. Stop them from attacking us, and then we can flee." So, they attack the boat. They get over there, there's only a few men, they probably died. But then, a bunch of men started coming up from below decks. They tricked him, made him think that there wasn't a lot of men on the boat, and then they took him. At this time, fighting ensued, like the movies. Swashbuckling, guns going off. Blackbeard got shot right in the gut. He ended up actually having 5 shots in him, but during that time he also broke Maynard's sword. But that didn't stop him. Now he's got a sharper, jagged, pointed stick. He sliced Blackbeard across the throat. Blackbeard, blood spewing out, bullet holes, didn't last long. He died, as people do. Now Blackbeard, Maynard knew Blackbeard was, a very important pirate. So how best to tell people you killed him? You cut off his head and put it on the front of your boat. So that's what Maynard did. Cut off Blackbeard's head, strapped it to the front of his boat, and went sailing on. The governor eventually got Blackbeard's head, put it on a pike, and put it out to what is now called Blackbeard's Point in North Carolina. You can go there, it's a museum and whatnot. You can learn about Blackbeard.
So did they end up throwing his head away, or did they like freeze it?
Don't know. Cryogenic, shot it into space, I don't know. Alright, so look.
Shot it into space.
Let's see here, we've got some time. We've got about 10 minutes.
We have about 10 minutes.
Alright, you look like a strong man. You pretty strong?
Oh yeah, that kid's got muscle for days.
Not for days. I need a drink. I need some assistance. I'm not going to give you any of this,
It's okay, it's just
water.
water.
I'm telling you some pirate stories, but while I've got some time, I want to do a little trick for you. This isn't very historically accurate, but it's going to be fun nonetheless, right? So everybody know what a pirate patch was for?
Wait, what?
Pirate patch.
An eye patch.
If they were blind or if their eye got stabbed out.
That's what most people think, but that's not true. This has nothing to do with the patch. It's not
Is
even
that
ready.
a straight jacket?
It is a straight jacket. I'm gonna put you in it. No. So a pirate patch is actually used for quiet night vision. They put a patch over their eye when they're fighting, because when you go below decks, it's dark. So they take the patch, put it on the other eye, and now I can see at night. Isn't that a nifty little trick?
That is smart. That's
Huh?
actually pretty cool.
Walking the plank. Does anybody know what that is?
Yeah.
That's not real either. That never happened. There's no evidence that people actually walk the plank.
Crushing my
Why would you build a plank, tie people up, and throw them overboard? You can just stick them and throw them. Time, we don't got time for that. We have time for key holding.
You have time to put him in a straight jacket.
No, you don't need them. So you want to look at that, make sure it's real, not fake or fluffy. All right, so pirates. They like being pirates because most pirates, they were called privateers beforehand. You think you can put me in there? Sure. All right. Well, while you're doing this, I'm going to tell you about pirates.
Sure. Make sure you do the buckles really tight.
Yeah.
Make sure I can't get out.
Yeah, don't.
I was like, wait, is he putting it on there?
All right,
And it's
go ahead.
okay if you hurt him. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
All right. So pirates, like most of them, are called privateers. You know, from England, France, Spaniards, Spanish people from Spain. Their government told them to come and be a pirate. Right? Take these ships because we need these shipping lanes to ship our goods and to colonize the Americas. Now during that time, it's really strong over here. Right. So during that time, they were basically pirates, but selling under the crown, and so it was all legal and good. But once they were done with them, they didn't want to pay them anymore. Stop being a pirate, just go back to being a normal sailor, be a merchant, go back and forth, we'll pay you a little bit of money. Now, they thought, why don't we do this for ourselves? We can take ships, we got the men, we got the crew, we got the knowledge, we can do this for ourselves, and we can make money. Lots of money. Isn't that enticing? You like to make lots of money?
You look like a crazy man right now.
I'm glad it took this long before you realized that.
Just right now.
So, where you at?
Bottom.
The bottom. All right. Well, hold on 1 second here. Let me finish this story here. So the pirates, they actually became a crew. They make these things called articles. Basically, like a constitution for the ship. They would say, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. If you screw up, you die. So this one is, you gotta grab it. You ready? Alright, so, okay, go ahead and strap that in. So, what is wrong with you girls? Alright, so, they made these articles, right, saying that you could or couldn't do certain things, and if you screwed up, let's go around my back like that, right? If you screw up, we can kill you. We can keyhole you. You know what keyholing is? You know what the keel of a boat is?
Pull it as tight as you can, Ron. Tight as you can.
So keyholing, the keel of the ship is the bottom of the boat. It's called the backbone of the boat. So what they would do was take a rope, swing it around underneath the boat. All right, before you leave, take my hat off. My spectacles, please. Thank you very much. Give it a hand to him. All right, so checking the time here.
Just leave him like that.
I'm not getting out. I just,
Yeah, Mrs. McDonald, just take him home like that.
She does.
When he's bad, you do this.
Keel hauling, they have a rope around the boat, right? Do you know what barnacles are?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Isn't
Barnacles?
that like an octopus?
No. They're like a clam, a bunch of shells. They're razor sharp, right? So they would tie the offender's hands to one side of the rope, the foot to the other. And then they would run the rope around the boat. The lucky ones drowned. The other ones, they got cut up from the barnacles. And then sometimes they just keep going until they came up and they no longer breathed. Some were lucky, not really, but they lived. Only to die a few weeks later because of infection because of their open wounds. So, keel hauling. Fun for all ages. Alright.
So follow the rules on a pirate ship. Really.
And some of the rules are, don't get drunk. Because pirates knew, just like Anne Bonny's crew, and Calico Jack's crew, and Blackbeard's crew, you get drunk, you get complacent, you die. So don't get drunk. Some didn't allow gambling because it caused fighting. One thing that is funny, especially at your age, no peeing on the boat. Not on the boat, but on the deck.
Dang it.
Right? You got to relieve yourself somehow. But you think about it, if you're peeing on the deck, there's people sleeping underneath you.
Wait. So they'd let the fish drink it instead of the people.
Well, that's more safe.
My rule when we're
Fish abuse.
camping is you gotta be like 10 feet away from the water when you pee.
Well, it's the ocean. How are you going to be 10 feet away from the water? Touche. Alright, so,
We need a bunch of buckets.
need a bunch of buckets. And we'll just go to the scoop deck. Or the head, as they call it. So, if that was such an offense that if you were caught peeing on the deck of the boat, you're dead. Pirates, they're dirty, they smell. Yeah, because they can't shower. But they're actually trying to be as clean as possible. So they didn't allow such things. Alright, so we got...
Can you get out in 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
got
4
5
minutes?
to
Can you
keep
get
it.
out?
The trick is, you got to dislocate the shoulder.
Oh.
So bear with me.
Oh.
Oh!
There it is. Alright. Alright, Alright. Alright. You did a good job, man. You done this before?
He works at an insane asylum.
Oh.
Alright, so that's the fun part. With the shoulder dislocated, you got to get the arm out and underneath here. Oh, that hurts. You go in there and get me some medicine tonight, baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
Only I can call that, I'll run you through.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
just trying to steal your girl.
I am. I didn't know that.
Alright.
I didn't know.
That feels better for everybody. So you see, now it's just a matter of getting the... What are you laughing at?
You?
Why are you laughing at me? I'll laugh at you. I'll tie you up and see if you can get out. Alright,
I mean, I'm probably too small to fit in this.
Yeah, we're probably too small to fit in there.
Right out of that.
You're too small to fit in it?
Don't use logic against me. I didn't go to Duke. Oh, there you go. That's how you get out of straitjacket.
Actually,
How do you
Duke
relocate?
is proved to be
Yeah, how do you relocate your
not the
shoulder?
best university because
Oh, very carefully.
from people from Duke, there was two people who called it a flat Earth and an Earth that looked like an oval. So
Well,
I
they're
guess
both
Duke
wrong.
doesn't have the best.
Well, you know, there's lots of people that don't have good
Their
education.
basketball program's much better.
Well, no. Actually, one of them.
Oh!
Oh,
That was a noise.
right, that's better.
One of them
All
is
right, let's see.
pirate.
We got 2 more minutes. Any questions for about pirates?
Pirates.
Opinion on Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow, nice guy. It's fun to go out and drinking with. We drink a lot of water because he's very dehydrated, being out in the sun a lot. He's a good pirate. A lot of credit to Pirates of the Caribbean movies because they brought pirates back to today's times to reinventate the pirate love and lore.
What about that guy with the squid head?
They got the squid head.
With the octopus head.
Davy
You know, on
Jones.
Davy Jones.
Davy Jones.
That guy.
What about him?
I don't know, we're asking you.
Did he
No.
like not physically drink?
Did you not watch the movie? He died. Now everybody's going to end on a sad note that Davy Jones is dead.
Wasn't he a bad guy though?
Drinking with a ghost.
Define bad.
Bad pirate.
He was pretty good pirate. Bad squid, good pirate.
That squid.
Going a little fast to talk about pirate insurance.
No,
I guess
no.
For another time.